Hello and welcome back to Oddly Specific Acres. I am Brittany, and for anyone new here, this is Naru. And in a moment you'll see Naru's foal Ezri, who we are going to work with haltering today. Now she does already have a halter with a little catch line on it, but we are going to get the lead rope on her and just work with her a bit. So I have Naru tied up to kind of encourage her to come over here because unfortunately, I don't have a barn with stalls that I could more easily kind of contain her, so I kind of just encouraged her to go up towards her mom, and then I put my hand kind of on her butt just a little bit, just to kind of push her forward. It's not going to be the best point of view. This is just with my GoPro attached to my chest, but this allowed me to get her where I could actually get the catch lead. Still, she's not happy, but got that on her, and now we're just gonna let the line go over there so that I can get back into the little mini round pen thingy we have set up here for her. So now at this point I'm gonna let Naru go so that Naru doesn't have to be all locked up here. She's a very, very good mom and was concerned about her baby. The nice part is, even though she's very loving and concerned about her, she also is not at all like upset at me for messing with her in any way, shape, or form. So I want to give her a moment to calm down here. Obviously, you would normally not want the lead line just loose like this, and quickly I thought we were about to have a problem, but I guess we're pretending we're hobble training slightly there. So again, normally you would never want this, but kind of had an unusual situation that caused us to be doing this, and again, I am all by myself doing this, so my husband will come out and help if I ask him to, but he's never had horses before me, so this is all still very new for him. So again, just letting her calm down for a minute and keeping Naru here so that she is more encouraged to stay near Naru. And then eventually we get to a point over here where I realized I was going to be able to grab the line. So now we've got the lead rope, and she's taking me on a journey. But I mainly just need to get that lead rope just over her head. There we go. Now, she's a strong little baby. It's not the best view here, but basically we're just going to do a pressure release situation where I'm going to put pressure on her, and as she comes to me, we release. Immediate pressure and release. And she's very quickly remembering, since she's done this before. This is, I think, our third time doing this. But she gives a little resistance, but then quickly remembers, so okay, if I just do this, then the pressure goes away. You see there, she's doing real good with starting to come up to me a bit. I'm just still impressed with what she's just such a fast learner. Easy. Ears are up. Give her a little sniff. Just want to give her a little time to kind of take everything in, but I also can't have her running away and turning her butt towards me or anything like that. But see there, nice step towards me. And again, we do try to run away, but quickly recover. Here, get a little nervous about pets, but throughout this you'll see she quickly comes around to them. So see, she's nervous at first, but there we go. Naru's just come over and be like, what's up? What we doing? But there's some mares I know that will get real upset with you messing with their babies. Not Naru. Naru's just like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. She knows that I'm not going to put her in any danger. Naru knows that would never hurt her little baby. She's starting to accept some more touching here. Not the best view of it, but there we go. That's a little better. She's interested in the camera. I think next time I try to mount the GoPro to my head instead of my chest, but I figured this would just be a decent POV of halter breaking. Doing a little more just rubbing with the rope, and of course the lead rope going over, she was like, oh no, a crisis. But we just keep some pressure on, waiting for those feet to move. I do kind of angle myself a little bit, that might help pull her off balance a little bit, but she's a strong little baby. She's only 3 months old, and yeah. And I know a lot of people will start their babies a lot of times by walking the mare and then walking the baby with them with the lead rope kind of around their butt to kind of encourage the forward movement. We do work on that a little bit later in this video, where I do put the lead rope around her butt, but she's just not thrilled with it. And so I figured, you know, since it's me without a third and fourth set of hands, it'd be easier just to kind of do what's working right now for her, which is just leading her around like this. So we'll still work on putting the rope around there just so she gets used to, hey, this rope's going to touch you everywhere, but we don't really need that extra bit of pressure, especially when she's being more willing doing it this way than theirs. I just love seeing them lick their lips because it means that they're relaxing a bit. So, and I tried to touch her belly a little bit and she was like, nope, too far. So it's one of those things where I do think if they're uncomfortable with something, you gotta kind of start working on getting them more comfortable with it. But we're doing a lot of things all at once. So I was like, okay. I also tried to touch her legs in a little bit and she's not thrilled with that. So I'm like, you know what? We're not going to push our luck and go too far with her when we're still working on gaining trust and getting used to this whole halter lead rope shenanigans. So right now I've decided in this part I'm just going to let her hang out with her mom a bit, do some more scratchies. Just get her really comfortable with human touch and seeing, hey, human touch ain't bad. Not gonna hurt you. And there we have my little wild child moment. But she's doing really good. I mean, the fact that I'm leading her away from her mom and she's not freaking out, she's not overly thrilled. Like this part you can see she's like, okay, I'm not thrilled with that. And it's like, okay, well, this is one of those where I kind of got to get that fixed. So we're gonna just have to deal. So just keep touching her, getting her more and more used to, hey, you're gonna get touched, things are gonna be moving around your face, and it's not a bad thing. So walking forward here, and I assure you they do have a water trough. I was cleaning their water trough, so I just threw it over the fence there, so that's why you don't see their water trough in here, because I was getting ready to do a deep clean on it, but figured we work on halter first and then go in and get that deep cleaned and put it back in there in a little bit. So seeing if she'd just be willing to walk to me, which of course I did that. Naru's like, okay, you want someone to walk to you? I gotcha. But I just still can't get over what a good mom Naru is, and the fact that she's just so chill with me working with her little girl like this and doing things clearly her little girl's not thrilled with, but she's just like, no, it's fine, I get it. She knows I'm not gonna do anything to endanger her little baby. I hear I take my phone out because I'm calling my husband to let him know that he can come down, that I have her successfully haltered, and I'm gonna speed through this because not a lot happens here. It's a lot of me just letting her kind of chill while I let him know. He's, his parents were visiting, so my in-laws were coming down because tomorrow's my, well, I guess when I put this up, it'll be my father-in-law's birthday, so happy birthday to him. But she just kind of starts almost half going to sleep here, and it's so cute because it's just like, just her relaxing, and it's so nice seeing her relax. And then I decided to take a video of her with my phone, so. But she's just such a fast learner. I love that, like, when I first started doing this, she was like, oh no, oh no, and then, like, so quickly, like, turned into, like, this, where it's like, we have a few moments of drama here and there, and of course, Maya tries to bite her, which, you know, didn't help matters, but she just so quickly has learned and picked up the whole halter thing. Alright, and now we're back to normal speed, so, a lot more petting and loving. Just, I love how much her mane's, like, starting to grow, but just giving her lots of love. This is where I attempt the leg, and she's like, no thank you. So we will definitely work more on that, but as I mentioned in my other video, a lot of times I feel like it's good to adjust the goals as you do stuff. So, like, my goal for this day was mostly just to get the lead rope on her and get her more used to touch and more used to pressure release, so that was pretty much just our main goal. But then I decided, I was like, well, let's kind of do some other stuff. And here she just seems to be enjoying the scratches, and it made me really happy. But there's no reason you can't adjust the goals as you're working. And again, I've said it before, I'm not a professional horse trainer in any way, shape, or form. But I've had horses well over 20 years, so I've learned a thing or two in that time. And I know growing up, a lot of people are always like, there's basically, if you don't complete certain goals, then you lose. Or if you set out to do something and the horse doesn't do that thing, then the horse has won. Well, the horse has no idea what my goal is. And for this day, I accomplished what was my own, like, personal goal of just working with her like this. And then I decided, well, hey, we're doing good. Let's try touching legs. But clearly, I was like, well, she's not ready for that, and she's doing so well with everything else. Let's pivot and make that not the goal. So it doesn't teach her, oh, hey, if I freak out, then you don't touch my legs. No, she has no idea. For all she knows, just a slight brush on the leg was my goal, and I accomplished my goal. She has no idea. So just a lot of scratching and loving on her, and you can see she starts to relax more and more. And then, you know, again, quick moment of, oh no, but doesn't mean we're going to stop. And I know some people see, a lot of times talk about learned helplessness, and the thing with learned helplessness that always throws me off is I wonder, hey, what really defines that? Because there's desensitizing and then there's learned helplessness. Well, to me, desensitizing is getting a horse used to something. That doesn't mean that they're feeling helpless about that thing, that they're just giving up. Forcing a horse to do something and then just freezing and panicking, that's more, I think, a learned helplessness kind of situation. It always feels like there's such, like, a fine line on some of the stuff. Like, I see a lot of the R-positive people are like, never, ever, ever, ever hit a horse for any reason at all. It's like, well, if I am in a field with a horse I don't know and it comes running, charging at me, yeah, I think I have every right to throw my hands up. If that doesn't stop them, they actually come at me, they might get smacked. I mean, at that point, to me, that can be a life or death situation. But I digress. I know someone's going to probably argue with me on that, but I see it so often where there's absolutely never a reason. It's like, no, there's definitely a reason. I don't think you should just do it for no reason at all. See there? Desensitizing to me dropping my phone, because I do that a lot. Just doing a quick picture of her just having some milkies. But again, like I said, I think that I hear it so often that, you know, the whole learned helplessness from when you do something like tie a horse up and that they learn they're helpless. I was like, I don't think that that's always what you're doing. I don't think they're just learning they're helpless. I think there can be scenarios like that, But I think also they can just be learning, oh, hey, when I'm tied up, it's time to stand, not time to pull back and destroy something. So, still new to a lot of the R positive and liberty kind of stuff, and I do think that there is definitely a time and place for that, and I want to learn more about it, but I also feel like there's a time and place for pressure release. There was just someone recently that has a very sweet and kind horse, never had a problem with them, never had a problem with the other horse in the field, and the other horse in the field ran up, double barrel kicked her horse, and her horse was ground tied, so it just had the lead just laying there. And the lead, when the horse got kicked, it went to take off, which would be fine, but because of that, oh, and here's the we don't like the rope on our butt. She took kind of a funny step. So you see her, she limps a little bit here. I think she sometimes gets a little dramatic about that. I think it just, she was like, ooh, took a rough step, because, and I think it's kind of like people, like we definitely have times where we step funny and you just kind of walk it off, because shortly after she starts walking just fine. But I saw her kind of take a rough step when she pulled away. But she's fine. But we decided to try one more time with putting the rope on her butt, and she's just not having it. So I was like, you know what, let's just work with, if we do that, it's just going to be rubbing it versus like the pressure coming from there, because I think that's still something we'll need to take a little time to get used to. And again, what we're doing right now seems to be working pretty well, so. But anyway, back to the story I was telling you about the girl with her horse. So the horse kind of rears up and goes to take off without, you know, running into her or anything like that, which would be fine, except for when the horse reared up, the lead rope flew up in the air and somehow wrapped around her neck, and she got drug by her neck, which you could die. It's amazing that she didn't have more injuries than she had. It seemed like she just had a, you know, little bit of soft tissue damage. But something like that is where it's just important to remember just how dangerous things can be, and how, in her case, the pressure release is actually what saved her, because after the horse initially took off, they suddenly felt the pressure on their lead and stopped, and then walked over to her, which released the pressure from both the horse and her neck. And then she said, you know, she just sat there for a while, and her horse almost seemed to be just watching over her until she could get up and actually move around. So thankfully she's okay, but that's just kind of a reason why I think pressure release is still something very good to teach horses. Because again, freak accident like that, thankfully her horse knew about pressure release and it helped save her. You can see we're having a little bit of a drama moment because she's not loving the lead rope getting rubbed all over her. So, and then this is where, to me, this is desensitization. This isn't a learned helplessness. This isn't, oh, see, you have to be forced into this and just have to deal with it. It's like she does to an extent, but it's also, you see her relaxing, being like, oh, okay, I guess this is okay. It's not that she's helpless, it's that she's learning that, hey, something that was a little nerve-wracking before, whoop, almost caught her as I was trying to scratch her. But it's just something where learning that something isn't going to hurt you doesn't mean you're helpless. And that's where I think a lot of the big difference is with that. So this is her learning that the lead rope is not harmful. It's something new, which can be a little nerve-wracking, but she's not helpless either. As you can see, she, throughout this, calms down more and more about it. And then again, we do more pressure release. And she does get stubborn sometimes, but Every time she takes a step, even if it's not perfect, we get a little release, so she starts learning more and more that, hey, you don't have to do the whole thing, but you gotta do something. The pressure stays on, and then step, release. And she starts licking a little bit, knowing that she did good, and starts to relax. So we go back to just focusing a lot on the rubs, and again, a lot on just trying to make her know that, hey, the lead rope can be on you on two sides and it's fine. So I think this is where I try once again to put it around her butt just a little bit, but again, she just doesn't seem to feel fully comfortable with that yet, and since it's just me trying this by myself, I'm like, you know what, let's not do too much of this. I also don't have a long enough lead rope, I realize, to really make it work, so decided we'll just have the lead rope kind of wrapped around her like that. So, and then a lot more rubbing with it. I think I try a little bit again here, but kind of just makes her pull even more. So I realized, I'm like, you know what? We're gonna pivot. This isn't working great with trying to put that pressure back there. She's been doing really good with the pressure just on the halter, so we're just gonna go back to lots of rubbing with the lead rope. So again, that's what I've been saying about pivoting our goals. I wanted to see if we could do a little bit of work with the touching her legs, but clearly that isn't something she's fully comfortable with yet, so rather than focus on too many goals at once, doing too much, we're just focusing on rubbing with the lead rope. Which as it gets to her head, she's like, oh, don't love that. Well, that's alright. You don't have to love it. And then Naru's just like, goodbye. So of course, with her mom walking away to her little pee spot, she was like, oh no, I'm abandoned. But she's learning that, hey, no, we're all good. Just doing lots of rubbing and loving. So I noticed she wasn't loving me on this side quite as much, so just keep rubbing and loving. Of course, she's not thrilled, but she's slowly getting over it. And then my husband and in-laws started coming down, which is why all the horses are like, oh my gosh, people. And they have a bag. The bag may contain treats. And the bag definitely did contain treats, so this is where we start to wrap it up, and figured I would just do one more little lesson with trying to get some rubs on her face, which, again, she's not fully comfortable with it yet, but she's getting there. And then once she gets them, then she's like, oh, okay, not bad. But that's pretty much where we're going to wrap it up for today for the video portion. I did work with her a little bit more after this, and my father-in-law got to pet her, which I think he really enjoyed, so that was really nice. But stay tuned for our next round of fun with little Ezri and all the other gang here at Oddly Specific Acres. Thanks for watching.